How's it going, everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of the Ready Game Fire podcast. I'm your host, Chris Fox, and with me today is... His toe went numb for around about 2 months, and he still didn't see the doctor, but don't worry about that, because he's our resident doctor of PlayStation. It's Mike Power, MD.
Rock on!
And it's just us here now. Why are you crying?
You know, it's the rock band shit, man.
Oh yeah, well obviously this is the Rock Band Store Memorial Podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
No, it isn't. This is the...
PlayStation!
We're recording this part of this PlayStation podcast before the announcement. It is the 20th of February.
Mere hours, isn't it?
Yeah, in New York at 11 p.m. our time, which is Greenwich Mean Time. Sony will be taking the stage and probably revealing the new PlayStation 4. I mean, if they don't, a lot of people are going to be disappointed.
Someone asked me, because I've been gushing about it all day today.
Have you?
And I have, weirdly, and a lot of people have been like, so what do you think is the chance they're not going to announce PS4 is? And the thought of them not announcing this in an hour and a half is terrifying. But I'm also like, there's just no way. I mean, wow, it's going to be good.
It would be good if it was just the US and Europe Vita price drop that Japan already got. Obviously, if you're listening to this now, this has already happened, so you can hear how stupid / accurate we are. We're going to be doing a couple of predictions later, just before we watch the announcement, so we'll be immediately proven wrong / right.
Yeah, no, I think right. I'll be proven right, I reckon, because I'm going to predict that it's going to be awesome.
But yes, here's how we're doing it. So this is part 1 / act 1, if you want to be pretentious. Then we're going to record part 2, still just me and Mike. Sorry about that.
Awful.
Straight after what we've seen, so it'll probably just be excited garblings for like 15 minutes. And then we're going to record the final part, Act 3, tomorrow with Stephen Edwards and James McNerney. So it's going to be
a three-parter.
Probably... You know, the best thing since the Merry Game Fire trilogy.
That is the best thing.
Yeah.
I went to, I can't remember the name of the artist now, it's really bad, but he's very cool. My friend dragged me there to see this artist. No, a comic book artist. Oh, right. Come on, let's stay on topic here.
I was going to say you're a proper...
And I think that day I've been talking to my mate about how, I was worried about how it was overly verbose and spoke too much. And the guy he was talking about how much story like one panel frame of a comic can tell, and it was from a Spider-Man comic, like quite a famous one of Spider-Man just dumping his costume in the bin and walking away.
My back.
my back. And the guy turned to me and said, what does this panel say? And I went, it kind of represents that Spider-Man's giving up on being Spider-Man because he doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore. Went on for about a minute or two, and he said, that's great. Turned to someone else, and the guy went, desperation. And I realised, I talk a lot.
And again, the story that got us to the conclusion that Mike talks a lot was quite fairly long. Mike, so I tweeted the other day, and it was a really good tweet. I'm so proud of it that, with the Wii U being what it is, and Microsoft seemingly still head over heels in love with Kinect, hopefully PlayStation and Sony are going to be the guys to watch next generation if they focus predominantly on games, which is what I want.
But the games they show are going to show off why they're the gamers' game platform. The third-party games are first-party games, and hopefully something new and really exciting. Because I think you're right. I mean, the Wii U is a bit stuck right now. We have faith Nintendo will turn it around.
Well, I just checked the Wii shop, and there's nothing. There hasn't been anything new on there.
That is crazy.
For a while.
And Microsoft, I think, they seem kind of content right now to stick with services and to stick with...
Where? Look at our Netflix. Where? God.
We've
mandatory Kinect 2.0.
Well, again, I think we're getting into these rumours, but apparently it's going to be mandatory PlayStation Eye 2, so,
If Sony do kind of, get back on top again, you're going to have to find a new company, aren't you? Because of the whole underdog thing that you love so much.
You've got it just right. I've said today, again, because I was talking about it a lot today, I don't know why. I still think...
You just said you talk a lot. And now you're like, God.
I talk a lot about talking a lot. Just leave me alone, all right? I still say the best thing that happened to Sony was getting trounced at the start of PS3.
The Walkman. The Sony Walkman.
I have appreciated PlayStation's underdog fight because I think it's made them put out some the most interesting. I don't think they'd have done games like Journey and The Last of Us. If they hadn't had this push to have great content.
But what about Ico and Colossus?
This is true, but that was few and far between. Now, most Sony games are a little bit wacky.
People are tweeting about PlayStation Memories, which has been fun to see all day.
Yeah, it's been really good, hasn't it?
I threw a few in, like playing Croc, The Legend of the Gobos,
nice.
and then taking the disc out and then continuing to play, and then Croc would lose his head, so
Yeah.
it'd be headless, but you could still finish the level.
That's good. Mine was my PlayStation memory was.
Yeah, no, I read yours.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with anything to do with the PlayStation.
Well, I thought that'd be entertaining. So it was the day I went to get I had my PlayStation ordered. It was like April something 2007.
And they played golf at the end.
and the PS3 didn't come, and it got sent to a depot. So I was like, great, it's a sunny day. Played outside with my mates, played with a broom and a whacking a ball around all day.
That's not.
Eventually, I went off to Dartford and got my PS3. It took an hour round trip and played some Marvel Ultimate Alliance all night, which was already out on PS2 as well.
Yeah, I know, and we. Anyway.
Totally worth it.
Well, another good one that I had that's actually a memory to do with PlayStation, Mike, was spending hours trying to input the naked cheat that was in an issue of CVG into Tomb Raider with my friend for hours, literally hours. Didn't activate, of course, but I mean, still though, clothed or unclothed, she had some hot 5th generation polygons going on there.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you're a Sony fan or someone who hates Sony, you need to be following the fake Kaz Hirai account on Twitter. He's Kaz Hirai at CEO, and the best one was because he was doing his hilarious PlayStation memories, and CEO Kaz Hirai, his favourite memory was being a profitable company. What a bitch.
Sony have been putting out videos over the week about the evolution of PlayStation, and when it gets to the Vita, they basically go, and then there was the Vita. Ooh, the Vita.
Flashing lights, flashing lights, flashing lights.
See you on the next video. But who's going to be, the company that you move on to next then? That's
I don't know, man. If Sony keep this up, if they keep up their games that appeal to me, and that's why I've always loved them, is because their games appeal to me. And they still put them out, and they fuck it up, and they don't sell well enough, and they don't do the marketing right, and they make stupid mistakes, but the games are always so goddamn good.
Oh, I'm going to E3.
That's awesome, with OXCGN.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
So here are the rumours that we've heard about tonight thus far, and now we can see, in a matter of mere minutes, we'll be able to see how many of these
mere 80 minutes
are true and which aren't. The thing that I've been most interested in has been the fact that the PlayStation 4 will be allegedly able to record the last 15 minutes of gameplay for uploading, because I don't know about you, I'm often stuck yearning for a screen capture button on loads of consoles.
Oh yeah,
I never have one.
I mean, because the Vita has like an iPhone, the cool little press the home and the thingy button to capture any shot. There's so many cool games I've been playing recently that I just wish I could take screenshots of, and having the Vita's maybe spoiled now, and I want it all the time.
I did that in a game the other day, and it went, you can't screenshot this.
Was it Resistance Burning Skies wouldn't let you do it?
It was during one of the betas, and it was like, sorry.
That's kind of fair enough. That's kind of cool. They can lock it off. Resistance Burning Skies wouldn't let me do it. I find that hilarious because it wouldn't let.
It's like, please don't share pictures of this game. Kotaku says that it will be 2 SKUs, one $429, one $529, which is quite close to the old $600 price, and that it'll be out in November.
But yeah, they've said
Europe after
Christmas, which is gutting.
Well, I mean, hello, it's Christmas time.
Yeah.
Idiots. I'm boycotting the rest of this PlayStation evening.
I am.
The PlayStation announcement has just been cancelled.
Oh.
The PlayStation will allegedly come bundled with the new version of the Eye. Moving on.
Well, I mean, just a point on that, I think that's cool because it's bundled and it's there and you can use it if you want. It depends what they're trying to do with it. I think you're going to talk about the controller now.
I want to know what they're going to do with my last Eye and my iToy.
Well, come on, if you haven't got enough use out of the iToy yet, then that's your fault because the iToy was brilliant.
No, I had fun with the iToy. Yeah. It was like Kinect, but it worked better.
Yeah.
Also, you'll be able to watch your friends play games, which is a little bit creepy. Even if you don't own the game, you can watch them play that game that you don't own.
Well,
like I said, quite creepy.
This is how it all flowed. I did that when I was playing on live, the little bit I did. So I was playing Borderlands, and suddenly something on my screen went, yeah.
What, someone said yeah?
Yeah, people cheering me on as you were playing Borderlands, and that was very cool.
No, again, I'll say it again, creepy. Yeah, it's like, hold on, God, this bit's particularly scary in this game that I'm playing. What's that breathing? Hold on, pause it, and someone's just going... Oh, don't worry, don't mind me, just keep playing your game.
Yeah,
but Sony...
I know that's going to happen.
Well, apparently they're encouraging it.
But this is what it all comes down to, I think, is streaming. Of course, that's what we're all excited about. We're excited that what Sony's entire... We imagine what Sony's entire backing is going to be. Their unique selling point, their strength is going to be Geico. It's going to be streaming, so it's going to be stuff like that. It's going to be able to see what other people are playing. It's going to be having the whole PS1, 2, 3 library available.
Like you just said, Gaikai, a little bit of context, Gaikai was a cloud gaming service like OnLive, who Sony purchased, and we haven't really heard much about it since, but there's something called the PlayStation Cloud is being talked about. Basically, as Mike says, if you like gaming alone, forget about it, because you're going to be watched by 50 strangers, no matter what you're doing.
I'm sure they're going to let you turn it off.
Updating your firmware, you're going to have people liking it. Oh, what's that? Flicking through the store? Well, people are going to be following your store blog.
I love that shit. I might be 1 in a million, but that shit to me is that's really exciting to me.
That's most people. Most people are enjoying this whole connectivity, but I still have friends who go, I like gaming alone in a room with the lights off on my Wii, not connected. Leave me alone, don't talk to me.
Sure.
Also, the last concrete thing we've seen in recent weeks has been the photograph of the new pad, allegedly.
Yeah, the prototype, yeah.
Yes, the prototype, and that hopefully explains why it looks like a cheap third-party piece of shit.
It's great because it looked like a cheap third-party piece of shit, just stuffed with like the most amazing gadgets and gizmos. It was ridiculous. The form factor was ugly, but it has a move in there, like a Vita backpad touch. It had indented joysticks, which everyone's wanted. It had share buttons. It had clearly spongy grips that's supposed to be biometric to read your heartbeat. It's mental.
Oh, God.
Speakers on it, headphone jacks.
I would say that you should work for Sony marketing, but I actually think you'd
do more harm than good.
I think you'd push certain people away.
I think so.
Like you're doing with me right now.
Yeah.
You're really turning me off this pad. But yeah, like Mike said, it's got what appears to be a move light in it, which is a bit weird. But fair enough. If they want me to wave my new DualShock around and not expect it to go flying, that's fine.
I think hopefully if they do, and I do expect them to strip some of those features back. Actually, well, I'll say this for predictions. Cut that out. I do expect them to strip some of those features back, but I think if you've got your PlayStation Eye version 2 in the box, and you've got a move within your controller, then it's what I kind of wanted for Kinect, which was to have a camera watching you while holding a controller, so you could do some movements.
Yeah, I know.
But you've still got that precision. So if you're using a controller to point at something and then press,
I know, but
and being very physical, but not too much.
Waving a controller around is not intuitive, though.
I agree.
And that's what I'm a bit puzzled over. The sticks are concave. Well, it's actually a weird mix of convex and concave. But whatever, the grip looks better.
Yeah.
What's worrying to me, though, is that like in place of the start and select button, you've got that touchpad. Now, I think we all have felt the frustration of like trying to press one of those weird touch buttons on certain televisions, even on the first PlayStation, a button that's not actually a button.
Okay.
And if the start and select button are represented on like a touchpad, I don't like that, because start is something you need a solid button for. You need to pause. You need to be sure it's paused so you don't fuck up what you're doing. You need to be able to feel the button without looking down at the controller.
It's definitely, obviously, if you had to pick any buttons on a controller to make non-tactile, it would be those. But I mean, if it gives the benefits of being able to play those small games or interact in different ways or use it as a mouse tracker pad, then it's a good sacrifice. But I see what you mean.
So those are the rumours.
Yeah, well, there's some bad rumours. I can't remember the source, but so alongside pricing and release date that came out yesterday, there were some rumours coming in from I can't remember if it was a third-party developer or someone close to the company, but there was talks, and make this what you will, that we will have to pay for most online features on the PlayStation 4. And people took that to mean that they'll be charging for multiplayer, which would be suicide.
You know when Ross goes about Russ, he takes out I don't know, like a week to get out a sentence.
I mean, like
it's hilarious.
Hello.
Just when you think Mike's about to drop the information, it's another backtrack. It's like, well, I mean, don't hold me to this if it's not true. But basically,
no, don't put me down.
And then he goes, basically, all it is, I mean, I just heard this off a guy on the street. So if it's not true.
They've got to know what's negative, so they can't announce a big price. If it is big, save it. If it is coming to Europe later, don't announce it tonight. Just leave it out. Make this a glorious pie. I understand you want to be upfront about things, but at least save it till tomorrow. Maybe.
Yeah, don't leave.
Let tonight be a fucking party.
A bitter taste.
Exactly. Let everything, even if you've got bad stuff. And I adhere to the law that you should be upfront about what you're doing. But now tonight's not the time. Tonight is the time for them to just be aggressive, positive, strong, and make it the happiest, cheeriness, and bring all the bad shit later.
I'm surprised you haven't got a PlayStation tattoo by now. You put some of that passion down on your arm, Mike. Come on, man.
I could not fit all of what I just said on my arm.
Here are our predictions. Not just our predictions, but also people who have tweeted and Facebooked at us hard. I'm going to get going with Last Guardian to be launch title. Yes, I got in there first with the most obvious prediction of them all.
Actually, when I think about Last Guardian, I think it's going to be right at the end of the conference.
Oh, and one more thing.
Last Guardian's coming out on PS3. Digital download only. We're sorry.
No. PlayStation 4 launch title, goober.
Beyond Two Souls, PlayStation 4 launch title.
Oh, you don't think we're going to see it on this generation at all?
Don't think so.
You don't think so? You don't think so at all?
It looks too good. It might be a PS3 amp. No, it'll be a PS4. Because they've got to have first-party stuff. They've got to have new IP. They've got to have interesting IP. Because they're going to have some boring shit.
I want Beyond this year on my PlayStation 3, please.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'd prefer Beyond this year on my PlayStation 4. That all relies on a PS4 coming out this year.
I want it on the PlayStation 3. Tony Lasoya Facebooked us with these thoughts. I think Sony will show off their streaming service, and that'll be the main focus. Obviously,
I think he's right.
Streaming is going to be huge. What I want them to show is... It's Tony's turn, Mike. Zip it. What I want them to show is games that are better as far as loading times in the AI. Yes, I mean, obviously, we're going to get a load of those general upgrades. So that's cool. Evans, who's part of the Ready Game Fire alumni,
good man.
He's talking about the new version of the Eye that comes bundled with a console. He's also looking for a brand new interface to replace the cross-media bar. Like the bubbles from the Vita, I said, and he said, yeah, maybe, whatever, or something to that effect.
He's committed to his point, that's the thing. What did...
Can I just start my hands right now and say that I don't like the Vita bubbles. It's a bit weird.
I've got no problem with them. I hate them to become like the dominant force.
I like the cross-media bar, and I think with a few tweaks and some more RAM allocated to it, as we all know, it's RAM limitations that prevent cross-game voice chat and basically, 10-minute trophy syncing loading times.
But you can really ruminate on the trophies you've earned while they're syncing.
And this is why I say, why no Sony tattoo, Mike? When you literally have an answer for everything.
If I could tattoo all my trophies on my arm, whenever you come get a new trophy, I'll just get it tattooed on there. That'd be swick.
It's like you stay up late at night when your girlfriend's gone to bed, and you kind of sneak back out to the living room, and you think about negative things that PlayStation naysayers might say, and you think about comebacks, and you're like, yes, well, I mean, you say that, but the lack of voice game chats, it allows you to be more creative with your texting through
Damn
text
straight.
chat.
What did Chris Goodwin say? I predict that whatever is announced will make Mike Power jizz in his pants.
He is so right. Obviously, he's got the best prediction there.
I jizz for no man.
Well,
machine.
I think he'll be jizzing for a hardware, software company tonight, though.
Right, my second prediction then is this. I predict that we're still going to call this next generation the next generation the whole time.
I heard someone say that the other day. They were talking about and we all thought insert game title here was going to be the best insert movie franchise title here game of the next generation, and I'm like, mate, we're just about to cross over to the next console generation, and you're calling this generation the next generation.
I think this prediction's a lock-in then, you see. I think we're still going to be doing it.
It's just infuriatingly stupid.
It's genius. I also predict that most of what they promised tonight will only about half come true in the future. They'll promise the whole PS1 library and only have half of them. They'll promise streaming everywhere, but it'll probably just be on Sony phones.
That's too vague. Disqualified.
Alright,
Hamish, who has been on Ready Game Fire
yes,
before,
he has.
You may remember his dulcet tones, although he's playing for the Super Pixel Brothers at the latest IGN pub quiz.
Is
he? What's that about? But he says streaming is a big deal. Basically, he goes on to talk about streaming.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about streaming, and then he comes on to games. Games will be shown, including Motorstorm, Killzone 4, Last Guardian, exclamation mark, hello? Maybe he's got something there.
He knows something. I don't think Motorstorm will be shown. I think Evolution are doing something different than Motorstorm.
Chris Blundell of the Super Pixel Brothers says that he predicts they won't announce price or final specs, but they will announce exclusive titles and show final casing.
I agree. They're going to have a big third party, Battlefield 4, big first party, Last Guardian, Beyond Two Souls, possibly Uncharted or Killzone, and some casual, a new IP like Beyond Two Souls or something brand new. They have between 3 and 5 games announced.
There's just
and shown
a lot of safe predictions flying around, Chris and Mike.
What?
Chris also, Mike, you said I believe that something they say won't come true.
Half true.
How vague do you want to get?
Half true.
Mandatory iToy, mandatory Wonderbook for every game. Chris Blundell also says, and they will announce the name as simply PlayStation. I've heard that photo around as well.
We thought that for Nintendo.
Could be interesting.
Though.
Don't like it though. PS4, please. Although Colin Moriarty from IGN says that the number 4 is unlucky in Japan.
He's right. It means death.
Well, bring on the PlayStation death. Tony chimes back in with, I predict the launch colours will include orange, which is his favourite colour.
Love orange, Michelangelo saw it.
As we all know, we don't get cool things like different colours at launch when you buy your console. No.
We just got a red and blue PS3 this week. What are you talking about?
You have to wait until the end of the console's life cycle before you can get colour choices. Dino, who I used to work with, he said video chat would be awesome in game. That would be good, like picture in picture.
Oh, yeah.
Your mate in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, like going, "So what you up to?" And you're going, "Nothing much." "What are you up to?" And it'd be like, "Nothing much." Welcome to every video chat that's happened over a game console ever. So that was Dino Hadzik. Tinesh Balakrishnan says, "Last Guardian launch title, please." That's the internet way of spelling please.
Ah, right.
With a biometric balls reader. Again,
Stick your balls on there.
people talking about balls, people talking about jizz.
The one thing that I think we could see that would throw the spanner in the work is going the other direction, that we might not see a box at all. And what we're going to get is their streaming service being the entire service. You'll have some kind of Apple TV box on TV. This is the way out there. This is. I don't think it's going to happen.
You said this generation coming up would definitely not be discless.
Oh yeah, I did, didn't I?
Here's my final prediction: twice the size of the PlayStation 3.
Oh!
And doubly expensive. That is the end of part 1 of our PlayStation podcast.
And scene.
We're about to go off and watch the announcement live and direct from New York. So we'll see you afterwards with how wrong we really were.
See you on the other side, brothers.
Ready, game, fire.
Ready, game, fire.
How's it going, everybody? It's Act 2 of the PlayStation RGF Podcast. I'm a little bit more drunk than I was last time. Mike, what have we just seen?
Man, we saw... I feel like I've ascended to a higher plane right now.
Basically, it's PlayStation 4. That's been confirmed. Hashtag PlayStation 4, as the kids are saying.
It's 1:15. We in the UK. We've seen the whole conference just now.
Well, we didn't do a drinking game, but we've just been drinking. It was going really well. I mean, any of you listeners out there who know the podcast, you'll know of a gentleman called Sonny. Sonny was texting me, and at one point, Mike, he just couldn't stand it anymore. He had to call up Sonny and say, "You listen, Sonny, Sony are doing really well, and Nintendo running Diablo 3. I don't think so. Goodbye." And then he hung up.
We love Sonny Modi, but he was texting in his usual baity way. He was texting Chris a lot of.
Hey, whoa! I'm completely neutral here.
I know, mate. But Sonny wasn't, and that's fine. We had a good chat, and he's good. So, okay, let's delve straight into it. Because
I'll tell you what I'll say. The streaming quality is great.
Terrible. Let's delve straight into this, and I think that's a good place to start. Like, obviously, on the surface level, what we've seen are some incredible console titles, incredible graphics, not just graphics, power, particle effects, emotion from characters, tech demos from Quantic Dream, of facial models, of hair, fucking hair flowing in the wind.
If Mike was on a microphone right now, this is where I'd take it off him and say, basically, listeners, Mike had several different layers and levels of a human meltdown during that conference. What I love, Mike, is when, like, really obvious stuff, like, we knew Destiny was multi-platform. This is Bungie's new game. We knew they were multi-platform, and also, like, what was the other thing? Anyway, there were a couple of things that were multi-platform, and you just kept standing up and going, yes! Yes! This really makes sense!
Let's kick it back to the start. And this will sum it all up for everyone, I think. It's when you first see, basically, the main dude, the main man for this press conference was Andrew House, CEO of Sony Europe. Kaz Hirai, the CEO of Sony, and Jack Tretton.
Nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. And Andrew House leading this, and that obviously is great, because what I think we've set up here is an incredible setup for E3.
The thing is, there's been questions left open by people like House today that will be answered at E3 by people like Kaz and Tretton.
It's like a conversation across like 6 months.
Yeah, it's a joke.
What? Oh yeah, with a great punchline.
Today was a setup, and E3 will be the punchline, but in a good way. Not like in the sort of Project Cafe Wii U way. No, I mean we didn't see what the console looks like. That will obviously be left for E3, which is good because as superficial as that is, it's something to look forward to.
It really is. Technically, I guess it is. I mean, we get so focused on what the consoles look like when actually all that does matter is what they can do. You'd think of a new PlayStation or Xbox reveal as being this big one free-for-all. Here it all is. what we seem to be getting now with the PlayStation 4 is actually a kind of piecemeal, bit by bit approach. We've seen the controller, we've seen games running on it, which look amazing, we've seen the potential, but we're actually yet to see the box, and that does leave you with this kind of building excitement. And we've seen, I'd say maybe 60% of what we're going to get, with another 40% plus all the games at E3, and that is well done, because today was great.
It's when you see what the console looks like we're going to see at E3, that then it all becomes like tangible.
I mean, there were a lot of dodgy buzzwords today, all about realities and becoming reality and shaping and forming and different kinds of buzzwords, but they all seem to resonate quite well with what they were saying, and that's always nice when they can throw out cheap marketing buzzwords, but as long as you back it up with content and ideas and actual some kind of visualization of that coming to life, you buy into it, and they did play that well.
With the exception to Media Molecule's unveil of Wii Music 2, you couldn't have loved anything more about that conference, Mike. I would love to have seen the hardware. I would have at the end. I would love to have seen hardware, Battlefield 4, and an Uncharted demo, and that was all. You're missing my point, though. I mean, like, I wish I could have filmed, like I said to you earlier on, well, about midway through, I wish I could have filmed your reactions, because if we were living in the PS4 days, you know, I would have been able to capture it. But yeah, I mean, the highlight reel of you clapping, screaming yes. I mean, you kept leaping up to your feet. It was absolutely amazing.
There were two moments where I couldn't contain myself and had to move around. The first was when they brought Jonathan Blow on. Because straight away, I mean, you know this project he's been working on called The Witness. He's talked about it for quite a while now, actually. And
Witness the fitness, and that was another thing, Mike. You're so ecstatic. I mean, come on, Braid 2, colon The Witness.
Not.
It was going to come to the PlayStation.
But this is what's beautiful. And this is why this whole thing has landed for me. Is that I was so worried about them fucking it up and not getting it right. There were more surprises than just expected stuff. There was a lot of stuff as expected. We saw Gaikai being talked about. We saw how the sharing was going to work. We saw there's a share button. We saw the controller pretty much how we expected it.
Can I just say, for all the retro fans, it was great to hear a rock and roll racing reference by Blizzard, and also just to see Dave Perry, father of games like Earthworm Jim, on stage and alive and well.
The Witness looks great, but what excites me is
looks like a 2013 reboot of Myst, which seemed to be floating around the Twitter sphere. Obviously, started by Ready Game 5.
Of course.
Yeah.
But what you've got to understand is that we saw. Well, like I'm looking right now. We saw Killzone.
Second Son.
We saw Killzone Shadowfall. We saw Drive Club. Mate, what's the first rule of Drive Club? Don't be interesting. Jonathan Blow, obviously creating Braid, is he's not so much the indie little developer anymore. He's the triple I.
He's a triple I, yeah.
A while ago. But the point is, he had said previously he was sick of console gaming because of these standards. So to see him bringing The Witness, this open world, super high definition, beautiful open game to PS4, at least shows on some level they've opened up enough that he's happy with being there.
Well, we saw various tweets from different indie devs and loads of people involved in all of that, and basically a general gist that we got from this is that the PlayStation 4 is going to be wide open to indie devs, which of course is going to be great. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be more like Steam in terms of getting indie games on there, and there were some stumbling points in this conference. Media Molecule going from a very cool move demonstration of sculpting things to basically Wii Music 2. Okay, can we just cut through the bullshit here? Yes, I love Media Molecule. Yes. I mean, blah blah blah. As soon as I saw the move brought up, I thought, no, this is a mistake. I mean, one of the first things we saw was like a double pronged eye, which looked like a Kinect. The camera that you're going to have with your PlayStation 4. Yeah. It was like a double-eyed version of the eye, which looks like Kinect. And then Media Molecule, they're just showing off this demo using, move wands, where you're supposedly making your avatar play this intricate drum part or guitar part, and it was Wii Music all over again. And that was kind of like, why would you present that? If they'd actually shown you being able to actually play, imagine if they were and by the way, with the new harmonics, and actually showing the move being moved, used to actually manipulate a real instrument. Yeah, that would have been mind-blowing. But they didn't. They just showed the similar shit of a guy waggling a move control to strum and a woman banging a drum to bang. While we're low point. But while we're on the subject of move, that light strip at the back of
It's
now
not
confirmed
a move.
now confirmed to be DualShock 4. It's not technically a
Yeah.
move, although it said it would be used to define players, i.e. it will change different
Yeah.
colours, but it also said it will interact with the camera
Yeah, they'll be able to detect.
and it'll detect depth, so it does work in the same way as move does.
So yeah, there were low points, but the thing that saved the conference, because there were moments where and Drive Club was another one, a beautiful looking racing game but boring as fuck. The point was they didn't linger, and that was really refreshing to see.
No wonder.
Exactly. As a whole point of the conference, there were low points, but they managed to glaze over them by not letting them last and moving on to something good afterwards.
If I could just interrupt with something more interesting, Mike.
Yeah, well, I'm very boring. I'm really boring.
This is going to surprise you though, because
Yeah,
I'm
hit
actually
me.
interrupting with something more boring. Now,
Wow.
the things that impress
Wow.
me, and they really are from a boring technical aspect. The rumor was confirmed. It's always recording the last 15 minutes of
Oh,
gameplay
yeah, I
for you to
haven't
share.
thought that.
The fact that when you start downloading a game, you can start playing it instantly, and it will continue to download while you're
my
playing
God.
it, which technically, to us right now, mind-blowing.
It's magic. It's
In a couple of
magic.
years, it'll be standard, but at the moment, mind-blowing.
But it's nowhere else.
Also, the fact that you can be in the hopefully fast and really refined version of the PlayStation Store. You'll be able to look at a game in the
This was
store
it, yeah.
and just jump straight into it before buying it to literally try out the game. I mean, literally. You press the square
Yeah.
button, because X will be buy, square will be try, and you press square and you
Is
immediately.
that a prediction?
Well, yeah.
Is that a bet?
It can't be. We've seen the conference. All predictions are now invalid. But the fact that we'll be able to dive in straight away and try the game, and as they said at the conference, only pay for the games that you love. What else did we learn? We learned that David Cage, he sure does render a good face.
His faces, they are rendered to the max. I mean, I was disappointed. Oh my god, there was no Last Guardian. It's unbelievable.
We could let Mike go into every single intricacy from the conference in detail.
There was no Last Guardian.
Basically, I'll keep it short and succinct for
Hit me
you
up.
listeners. Quantic Dream just revealed, as we'd expect, the next generation of good-looking faces in games. Square Enix came out and said, by the way, there's going to be a Final Fantasy game on the PlayStation 4.
Wait for E3.
I'll see you later.
Yeah,
And then
I
left the
know.
stage. And them announcing the PlayStation 4 complete HD next gen remake of Final Fantasy 7, that would have completely
Would have
sold-
landed it,
It would have
because
sold that conference
they've
for so
done
many
so-
people.
Don't
As
worry.
much as some people may hate HD remakes and people who live for those, I mean, it's a big market there, and it's all about making money at the end of the day. Now, Mike, I know you're a big Japanese gaming fan. You can't stop gushing about those JRPGs, but if you just allow me to take over a second, so I can talk about a great
wrestle
Western.
it away from me. Wrestle it.
I want to talk about a Western game that looks good, Watch
Oh, wow.
Dogs. I mean, we saw a live demo of Watch Dogs. I saw the pavement that was wet and glistening in the sun, and I wept. Mike saw it, I wept.
What did
Tears
I say?
of joy.
I said,
Yeah, that's quite a good tweet, Chris. I bet I could make it longer and less funny, and was rambling for a while after that.
What I said was a lot of times was just fuck off. Sony, just fuck off, because there were so many moments that I can't internalize yet to believe they're gonna be real. It was like seeing the pressing X and the sword to just play any game straight away. It was seeing Jonathan Blow. It was seeing Watch Dogs. It was seeing Bungie, the developers of Halo, the game that made Xbox, come on first to say this is a PlayStation 4 title.
I mean,
Stuff like that was just, for me, it was really difficult as a very excitable human. As a drunk, excitable human,
Well, see-
as a drunk, excitable PlayStation fanboy human, to see these things unveil and actually occur and be reality. Yeah, I did a lot of running around the room.
anyway, I was trying to talk about Watch Dogs, if you don't mind.
So sorry.
Basically, the live demo was insane. The amount of
yeah,
things you
yeah.
can control with your phone looks great. My two highlights included activating those bollards what come out of the road to stop a car. That was cool. Then he stopped a train. Yeah, that's right, District Line to Wells Court. I'm going to stop you and jump on you.
I think that happens every day I'm on it. Actually, someone always stops it just before it Earl's Court.
Why aren't you talking about
Soft.
Knack? Why aren't you talking about Knack?
We'll get on that. But
Crash
first of all, these two-
Bandicoot 2013.
The start of the presentation, you expected Kaz to come on, Kaz Hirai, the CEO of the whole of PlayStation brand and Sony, to come on and announce this. But actually, the first person to mention PS4, the first person officially to say there is a PS4, was Andrew House, the CEO of Sega Europe. And really interestingly, and then the next guy was,
Kearney.
the next person was Mark Kearney. Is that right?
Kearney, yes.
Kearney. Is it Mark Kearney?
Well, it's Kearney or Cerny.
Okay, fine. As long as it was Mark Kearney, and he was prolific in the development of Crash Bandicoot, and he's now the systems engineer on the PlayStation 4. And he was on for a while, and he showed his new game Knack, and it looked like a
Crash Bandicoot, yeah.
Yeah, no, it did. It looked like a really not HD, but really what's the word? Well, we haven't got a word yet for it. Not next gen, not next gen, not HD. What is it?
At one point, Mike was hopping around the room because trophies are still going to exist on the next PlayStation. That's what I'm talking about. He's literally losing his shit over like inevitabilities.
And just seeing, actually, people predicted there was going to be no specific details, but they revealed the RAM in this machine, the GPU. There was a point when we first saw Knack for the first maybe 20 minutes, and we were like, oh my god, this is the only game they're going to show.
And let's not downplay the importance of this. I mean, Bungie were there, and it's like a big deal, really, because Bungie have been exclusive to Microsoft this whole time, and now they're multi-platform, and Destiny will be on the PlayStation 4. Oh, it does feel good to say PlayStation 4. I'm glad. I'm glad it's PS4.
That was it. Again, to sum it all up, really, it was so quickly, and admittedly a little unceremoniously, but kind of in the good way of like, yeah, fuck it, it's PS4, and just seeing it flash up. That was the first moment where I jumped up and was like, yes, because it was just great to see.
But like I said to you, I think it's creepy the fact that we're moving towards that future where everybody will be able to see everything that you do.
Agree.
You know, like I said,
I love that personally.
You're going to have likes when you're buying stuff in the store. You're going to have followers when you're just browsing videos. And also it's that step forward to being everything that we do, whether it be on Google, YouTube, PlayStation, Facebook, everything will be collected into a big old virtual sack of data. It'll be stuck on a microchip with your name on it, and then you'll be forgotten about in a big database.
All right, Grandpa.
With everyone else. Still though, Knack looks good.
Knack looked good, and Knack did look fun. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. I think what's great about it, I hope it'll excite people who aren't just a PlayStation nutter, and someone who's just interested in new tech, and showing this connected future that we all knew was coming.
Yeah.
But what I think they achieved is they presented it in a quite an attractive way. I was worried they showed people like, fuck iPhones, but they didn't. They said they still kind of focused on their Vita and their own core play, but then they also and iPhones. It was always like a side note. It's always there.
They're still talking about that remote play, aren't they?
But I believe them when they say it's connected.
Well, we'll see. I mean, like I said,
mate,
they've said it before.
They showed Clank. What's it called?
No one cares. Ratchet and Knack.
Knack. They showed Knack running 1-for-1 on the Vita. And again,
I bought a Wii U, mate. You know. Next, do your own thing, Sony. Come on.
Like I say, just the idea of this working, and again, the thing that I think is a bit sad for Wii U, and very exciting for a PlayStation fan, is that they showed a screen of the game running live with a comment stream down the side of you watching someone's game live, and you suddenly go, wow, the Miiverse is the most toted feature of the Wii U in that you can leave some comments on the community
That's
forum.
a piece of shit, though.
And it's literally come in and said, okay, I see what you're doing. That's cute.
Oh, isn't that cute, Nintendo, what you've tried to do there?
Let's obliterate you. I mean, it's not even like one up you. It's obliterate.
Again,
it's obliterate, not even obliterate. It's obliterate.
I think I said to you, like during your fourth meltdown, like I appreciate how much during day-to-day life you really do. I've seen it. You know, you really do make a considerable effort to repress that fanboy in you
until it bursts.
And sometimes it bursts out. You know, over the phone to Sonny or whatever. But I mean, thank you very much. I mean, as the opposite to Mike, as an impartial, as Captain Neutral or Sergeant Sit on Fence, whatever you want to call me. I mean, what I love about Sony is their style. It's always cool style. You know what?
Cool is nice.
Yeah. Sony, they have a very cool style. And they deliver a very sheen package, and we definitely got that tonight. And I was envious of everybody who was in that room. Having said that, I got to drink rum in my pajamas whilst watching Mike jump around my living room.
I mean, I've got to say, I mean, this is the first time I've been able to partake of a press conference like this with a fellow
podcaster.
No, more than that. A friend, a mentor.
Jesus. He has had some drinks, hasn't he?
A Chris Fox.
Just say a god amongst men, which is.
That's not going too far.
What will the ladies think?
Because most times it's either me at home on myself, me in a hotel with my girlfriend while she's asleep trying to suppress my excitement.
Hold on, where's this story ending up?
It's just saying, I need to agree, this was the best conference I've seen because it delivered on all fronts without and any failures were glossed over very quickly. I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun listening to it with you and
Definitely good. Well, this is the year to be interested in games in the industry, because it's.
And I almost hope Xbox comes out with the next one, because the one thing that breeds inventiveness and new concepts is competition. So I really hope they get. I still really hope Xbox and PS4 come out day and date. I really do.
Well, I think they'll pretty much come out in the same window, and I too, Mike, cannot wait for the controllerless Microsoft console that will be revealed very soon, and that is the end of Act 2 / Part 2 of our PlayStation podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you in a bit.
So we're going to resume recording tomorrow, which will be a matter of seconds for you guys, but we'll see you clean and sober for Part 3 / Act 3.
I'm still going to be well hungover.
In a minute. Ready, game, fire.
Ready, game, fire! PlayStation game, fire!
Everybody, welcome to Act 3 of the PlayStation podcast thing that we're doing. Episode 44 of the Ready Game Fire podcast. It is now the next day. We've got an extra person here, and if Mike is the doctor of PlayStation, then he's definitely the nurse. It's James Mack.
How's it going, everyone?
Nerney. And Mike is still here.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vita.
Technically, it's not her birthday.
It is today, 21st. 21st, baby.
When did it come out in Japan? When did it come out in Japan? Was it
in Europe? Europe birthday.
Mike's just got out a birthday cake.
One of the ugliest looking Vita cakes you will ever see.
I made a Vita birthday cake.
No wonder it looks hideous.
It is sponge with icing. Look what I made. Look at that bad boy.
Is there an actual Vita inside? Is it Kinder Surprise?
That's quite committed, man.
Yeah, I did make that, yeah. I'm very excited. It's 1 year of the Vita today. We had a lot of PS4 news last night, but
this is what you're doing during your working day too, yeah?
It's a sponge cake.
But we were just saying when you were like in the middle of a pile of sausage rolls, there's no eating on the podcast.
Oh no, it's fine, but it's there now, you know.
Mike, this is audio. No one's getting the benefit of this cake.
I'm going to put the picture of the cake up on the Facebook page. Oh, I'm so proud of myself.
Oh dear, I wouldn't be.
Mate, have you ever made a Vita cake before?
God, it's quite nerdy though.
Mike, no one's made a Vita cake before.
It looks awful on picture. You don't take a picture.
Not even Sony. Sony don't even make Vita cakes.
It looks quite like.
It looks more like a Game Gear than a Vita.
I think
buttons though. Look at those buttons.
Also, unfortunately, Steve Edwards is too ill to be here today. I guess maybe he caught something from the conference last night because it was pretty sick.
Oh yeah, I was almost sick.
So here's part 3. Basically, this is just a round table discussion of what we liked, what we didn't like, our hopes, fears, and aspirations for the future. And we've also got 24 hours of time off from podcasting to let everything really soak in, which is going to be good.
I've sobered up now, but I think I'm dreading to hear back how we sounded when.
You're still sobering up because you're surrounded by hangover cures.
I was actually drunk.
Including the most popular hangover cure of all.
The PlayStation Vita cake.
The Vita cake.
Yeah, the Vita cake.
Yeah.
But yes, so Max, since you're the freshest voice,
as always,
what made you say yay? What made you say nay?
I loved all of it, pretty much.
Yes.
It was. Well, I'm sure you guys would have discussed this already. There was a lot of big points.
I was trying to discuss stuff with Mike last night, but there were too many times when he was literally leaping up and down on the spot. Screaming. Not an exaggeration. Not in a kind of self-aware, ironic way. No. I'm not like leaping. Sonny sent me some tame messages. Some very, very tame messages. Yeah.
Was he following Major Nelson's style?
Yeah, exactly.
Comments. Yeah, he's like, well done announcing a console without showing the console.
Yeah, no, he was giving a shit.
He says. Sonny just texted me saying, I can see where the Final Fantasy characters get their stupid hairstyles from when the Square Enix guy was on stage. Nice. He said, isn't Diablo 3 that game where everyone just spans the mouse clicks? And then Mike, apparently that was enough to make Mike grab his phone and went, right, I'm calling Sonny. And he went, listen to me, Sonny, you know, stop saying these things when you don't even understand it. Fuck you, and hang up on him. That's what happened. I've already
Captain PlayStation right there.
I called him back. We had a nice chat.
We spoke about this in Act 2, but I just wanted to raise this point to Mac. So we could just get an idea of the kind of night we had last night. It was crazy.
Terrifying.
Annie said, you know, and Annie knows Mike's love for Sony, but she said she was, quote, surprised by how overly extrovert his reactions to stuff were.
I'd love to say I was, but I'm really not.
Well, you were at work when you listened to it this morning. I was here and drinking and being merry.
There you go.
Well, we're stone cold realists, Mac. That were you and me. That's the thing, you know. It's, you know,
I
it's
do live
fine.
in fairyland.
And you're queen of the fairies.
Oh, I'm queen of the fairies. Just like Mr. Dribbles. What's his name?
You're queen.
Mr. Dribbles,
you're
okay.
Queen High, queen of the fairies.
I think yeah.
Mr. Dribbles. All right.
Tidy.
That's Mike's new name. One of Mike's many nicknames. So
Mr.
you got greedy Mike Power.
That's not one.
We've got Roadblock. We've got Minimum Bet. We've got Mr. Dribbles.
Yeah.
And they're all so good.
The only thing
what didn't you like?
The only thing that disappointed me ever so slightly, but again it was a minor sort of quibble, was the
Mr. Quibbles?
Was the media molecule bit of the presentation,
Yeah.
because I appreciate the technology behind it, and it's fantastic, the idea that you can sculpture whatever you want and morph into whatever you want, but it just doesn't appeal to me. It's not a game per se.
It doesn't seem like it's. I mean, PS3.
It looked more like a tech demo to me.
They were
than
just tech
anything
demos.
else, so.
We've already touched on the whole Wii Music 2 fiasco, but I mean, a lot of outlandish move promises were made, and how can they possibly deliver on them? We'll see.
I vaguely remember being slightly worried when the conference finished, because I was worried about there being no. But when I came into work this morning and someone straight away was like, "That conference, it was shit," and he was like, "I was like,
Who was that?
Steve."
Oh, I knew it was him.
Steve Edwards. That wasn't Steve Edwards. But he's like kind of a non-gamer, so he was just more interested in watching it to find out the basic ideas. And there was no big headline for the mass market to latch onto, because we didn't see the box, which is not really a problem, because I think what's great is we've set up a good E3.
Sort of. Well, we saw what it's capable of doing, and we heard the specs and everything. The specs are brilliant.
Good,
so,
huh?
like a high-end PC, obviously, but
What Mike should have been worried about was he bought a really, really large double mattress to sleep on last night. Spent ages pumping up, and even though Mike's like Mr. Moneybags Mike Powers,
Yeah, sure.
he's got this really old rickety foot pump that made this noise. Spent 2 hours going pumping it up, and then I
Quarter of an
go.
hour.
So today, when I saw him when he came over today for Act 3,
Act
I
3.
said, "Did you have a good sleep?" And he goes, "No, I didn't bother taking my jeans off, and I had like my keys in my wallet."
Again, it wasn't against.
Why would you pump up, B pump up that mattress, and then, I can't be bothered to take my jeans off. Jeans sleep.
It wasn't not bothering to. You saw me literally. We were all fine, and I went into that drunken state of being like, "Wow, I'm gone."
Take
I was
off my
out.
shoes. Take off my shoes. Nah.
She's already out in there. No.
I could take my jacket off, but I'm lying down now. No.
I'd love to have taken off my trousers. We drank.
Could have at least
we drank
taken
a
the
whole
keys
bottle
out
of
of the
spice
pocket.
rum. Yeah, I know.
whenever you woke up and it's like, oh, that's a little bit painful,
We're on the
rather than
spice.
turning over and go back to sleep.
I've been a mess today, but it was worth it. I had a lot of fun last night.
Here are the pillars of the
Yeah.
PlayStation 4. Simple, immediate, social, integrated, personalized. Okay.
It's one pillar I don't like, obviously, or social element. Not big on it.
Don't like friends.
Don't like him. Don't need him.
Like Mike said in the drunken part last night,
Did I?
he said that a lot of buzzwords were used, and I just said to you those pillars /
Yeah.
That
buzzwords.
sounds smart of me to say.
But it does look like all the developers and everyone like that, it all looks like it's going to be delivered upon, which is great news. A lot of people today were like, didn't see the box, but we got all of the specs.
Yeah.
So we know what's going to be inside
more
it.
than what you normally
Yeah,
get for the first announcement.
and like people today are going, no box. Fucking PC gamers and like PC gaming websites are being really pretentious and being like, you could probably actually spend less on a PC and have it be as powerful.
No, they've announced the price even.
The thing is, like as I've already said before, I'm quite bored of first-person shooters
Sure.
now.
Oh yeah.
So Killzone obviously looked incredible in terms of graphics and everything. But as for gameplay in that, as well as in Destiny or whatever the fuck that
Yeah,
bunch
yeah.
of ones
Density.
called.
Density.
Density, whatever.
No, it is Destiny.
It looks a bit generic to me. So
Well, I mean, but the conference was great because it had a game literally from almost every genre
Yeah.
for everyone out there, which was a good way to do it.
And they were all strong, weren't they?
exactly, yeah.
8 gig RAM.
Yeah.
Which is very, very competitive with current PCs, or will be when it comes out. And 8 gig
spec for now. Yeah.
It's going to completely sort out, like I said on our prediction, part 1 of this podcast. You know, all of the stuttering XMB, all of its long loading times. It's all pretty much going to be a thing of the past. And I think instantaneously, that's the thing that I'm going to be most excited to behold, especially when compared to how gash the Wii U is in terms of getting in and out of menus. But basically everything loads at a touch of a button. You can put the console in standby mode and then literally resume exactly where you were from before that.
The Gaikai tool, as it is, it's the technology, seems to be unlocking a lot of the things that Sony kind of wanted to do all this time, like have these really slick interfaces, have remote play with the Vita. But now this technology seems to be what's going to let them actually do this and do it without, having the console run like a chugging monster.
Did you notice that they mentioned there's going to be a separate, I believe it was CPU, they said, I might get that wrong, separate CPU just for downloading and uploading data and stuff as well.
It's brilliant, and that's
and the fact it's going to tap into the Vita as well, because the Vita has been locked. It's got, I believe it has 8 cores, but you can only use 4 cores at the moment. 4 of them have been locked out.
Is this like how they say
they've obviously saved for the PS4 integration?
Kind of like how humans are only use like 80% of our mind or 20% of our mind, and under the right pressure we can have telekinesis.
Yeah, except we can't get Kaz Hirai to turn our brains on fully, can we? Like he's going to turn the Vita on. Anyway, here's something weird that I saw online. A lot of people were annoyed that there were no women presenters at the conference.
Yeah, interesting.
That's weird.
No one thinks it was deliberate, but it's the fact. It's even worse that it just happens that way. That there are no senior female developers or studio heads, and that's more. It's more of a representation of an epidemic problem.
That's something that will just gradually change.
You're absolutely right. It was a weird thing to pick up on suddenly today.
People are just. I don't find it relevant, and I don't know why people would say comments, and I quote, "No women on stage." Well, I'll be buying a Wii U. Then. The discussion of, sexism in the gaming industry or like businesses, that's a completely separate conversation. We're talking about PlayStation 4, okay?
Yeah, it's a bit retarded.
Let's stop being silly.
And we all know there's going to be a new Uncharted eventually on PlayStation, which was created by Amy Hennig. So
the writer,
there's a female,
and it's also something for the ladies, isn't it?
There you go.
Check out that Sully.
PlayStation.
I think it's good actually that was a criticism that was levied, because I think it was a good indicator that actually it went over well. If people are coming, because there's always going to be criticism.
So you got 8 gig of RAM? Oh, so you got all those games coming out? So here's a demo of a million things falling from the sky, and it looks really cool. Where were the women? Didn't think you'd have an answer for that. Microsoft.
Yeah, it's funny, and I had so many worries about how things could have gone wrong. Because they could have, but they were strong. Don't you feel? They were strong. They were confident, but they weren't cocky. They were clearly ticking off so many wrongs they've made before. Best story today, all PS3 will come bundled with headsets. Also going to be able to charge the DualShock 4 on standby with the PS4.
It's so obvious to have a headset bundled in that Nintendo are the idiots for not doing that and not sorting that out. Yes, it's not going to have to be connected to the internet at all times to function. That's great. Shuhei Yoshida came out in an interview and said that it will play secondhand games, which was a complete surprise because of that patent we heard.
Yeah, but I think it was.
It was my prediction that it would be locked out.
But maybe they try to patent it just to save us, basically, so that it can't ever be brought in at any point.
I think they got the patent because if Microsoft had gone ahead, they wanted to be ready, and if they then come ahead, they might still put it in years to come.
Did you see the other bad things about PSN games?
Yeah, this is going to say so. This is what I was kind of thinking about last night. I think we mentioned it beforehand, was that any negative stuff they had to say, if they were going to say they're going to start charging for online play, or if it was going to cost a lot, leave out the conference, and they did. But today a big one came out that's actually has annoyed me, is current PS3 downloadable titles. Anything you've downloaded is not going to be compatible with your PS4.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to just download
including
it again.
PSN games in general,
which sucks, and I guess that's because there's going to be no PS3 emulation at all.
Yeah.
But I still feel that to me feels quite wrong.
They wanted to save costs on emulation.
It's not just emulation, it's the architecture.
Entirely
but different.
It's also like they should not have said that, because that is something that they're clearly going to fix, because they will fix it. Backwards compatibility in terms of reading discs, I understand. I would like to have that in, but I understand that won't be in. But the ability to play PSN titles like Pac-Man Championship DX, come on. I mean, they're gonna sort that out.
They're locked to your account, but then if the only way it's gonna be able to play PS3 games is through streaming, I don't think you're gonna buy each game individually to stream. I think you're gonna be paying. I think you're gonna pay enough money to unlock the Gaikai element of the PS3. the PS4, and so that'll include streaming all the library. So if you're doing that, then you can't then redeem your old like Journey download and say I downloaded Journey, because you're paying a subscription. You're not going to get like 1p off because you're getting this whole library.
They won't all be available immediately anyway.
Well, you'd hope they would be, to be honest.
I'm sure they've got a like you just kind of riffed on like a forward-thinking plan.
Backwards compatibility is such a strange thing for people to go on about, because really
it's different though. It's not backwards compatibility. It's the little PSN games that you can play on you know, Vita,
exactly.
PS4, whatever.
That's another weird thing as well. I can understand why they're doing it, but a lot of these developers releasing the game on PS3 and PS4.
It's got to be done, hasn't it? I mean, so you're thinking of Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs, Diablo 3 is doing it. Destiny's doing it.
Diablo's the whole game.
The thing I worry about is that they're going to have to limit the gameplay mechanics to suit current gen, and then when you buy it on next gen, it's just going to be up-res graphics and stuff, kind of like what they did with Hitman Blood Money between PS2 and 360.
Yeah, I see your worry. I feel like Watch Dogs, though, is more the other way around, though. It's more developed for next gen. It's just what they have to scale back to fit into the little ones. I agree. It's not. It means, but launch titles never are the best they're going to be.
No,
Watch Dogs 2 is going to be amazing. Can't wait for Watch Dogs 2.
Seeing more Watch Dog footage.
Love it.
Let's hope it doesn't have the Assassin's Creed thing where it looks really cool, but it's actually really dull.
That's the way I've been looking at it, sadly. I was watching the footage of it now.
I am getting carried away.
It looks like Assassin's Creed to me.
But watching it, I'm up for it. So here are the games that have been confirmed, or most of them anyway. Killzone Shadowfall.
Now a launch title, definitely.
Looks like Mass Effect.
Is it definitely a launch title?
Launch title announced. Ooh.
Infamous Second Son, which features a brand new hero who uses flame instead of electricity.
Well, apparently he's more like dust or the wind.
Where's he going to get the fire from to recharge it?
Nix, mate. He's shagged Nix back in the day, mate. Oh, he's done old Nixie.
Maybe Nix is back.
Drive Club.
Nah.
But, you know...
It's Gran Turismo, mate. What was Gran Turismo?
Just give it another 4 or 5 years and then we get Gran Turismo.
Racing fans are excited about Drive Club, though, so, I mean, it's something that I don't understand and you two clearly don't understand.
Well, I like racing games, but I'm just not passionate about
You want the real deal, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I find it weird that...
You don't know it's not going to be the real deal?
Okay, but I mean,
you
when
guys,
we say real deal,
let's be honest and say that no one here, and especially you two guys, is the authority on this subject. So we'll just move on.
Mac loves his GT.
No,
I love my GT.
He bought Gran Turismo, like I bought Gran Turismo, but it doesn't mean I'm a racing sim expert. I'm a kart racer expert.
83% progress through Gran Turismo, mate. So done well. It's pretty good.
Gran Turismo was on the Xbox. You would have played it on that as well.
No one plays the Xbox anymore. Anyone with a brainstem shouldn't be playing Xbox.
Again, you're just changing the question that I'm actually.
Nah, not at all.
Again, you're just
not at all. You're talking about where I take one step up, and then you're saying why don't I take that step back down? And it's like I don't want to.
No one's playing Xbox.
I've heard that. No one's playing Xbox.
No one's playing it now.
It's ridiculous.
Move on, innit?
We're trying to
that's last gen, mate.
Again, like, oh man, can I just apologise for it appears not even this podcast is safe from this awful affliction they call fanboyism. We also got
turn it down, Mike. Jeez. Did either of you notice? You may have covered this already. I got the impression that when Andrew House first came out on stage and you heard like a subtle PlayStation theme in the background, I think that's the PlayStation 4 jingle. Did you not hear it?
I don't know what
it was quite deep and quite ominous as well.
No, he came.
But it sounded enough like the old PlayStation 1 logo.
I thought he came out to the PlayStation 3 boot up noise.
No, that's what you mean. It was kind of like I think I know what you're talking about.
I was trying to find it on YouTube so I can send you the link, but it's not on there just yet.
I'd be surprised too. I mean,
at the very start of the conference when it's like, and please welcome Andrew House as he's walking the stage, that sound.
Okay, that'd be cool. I mean, I
like that. I was like, whoa, what is this? Is this next gen?
NAC was used when they were demonstrating the fact that you can be watching a friend play his game, and then if he can't do a bit, Mike, then your better friend, Mac, can actually take over your game and play that hard bit for you.
Get that platinum for you.
One day, I'll get your platinum. I'll get your platinum trophies, mate, for you.
I like that.
I'll get your platinum trophies for
you. They definitely should have called it that. I think there's going to be a lot of secret exchanges. There's going to be a lot of times when you two gays help each other out, but you won't tell anyone about it. You'd be like, meet me online in 11. I need help taking this boss down. And then afterwards you'd be like, cheers Mac/Mike.
I need help drawing the line in a Kami Super HD.
Oh god.
Remember, repeat this to no one. Yeah, this never happened.
It's going to be awesome. I think of the kind of really different experiences we're going to have on the system. This is the thing I love about the current generation, why I struggle to play the Wii and Wii U, because I don't feel connected to anybody or anything when I'm playing them. Even the Wii U with its Miiverse, I still feel it's very distinct. And now I'm going to be on my PS4, I'm going to be playing a game, I'll pop back to that menu, I'll see my game in picture with the feeds and the friends, and it's all it's that stuff to me. I was so happy, even though we'd all seen it happening, and it's what I think we all predicted was going to happen with streaming and sharing content and seeing each other's games. Just seeing it there, for me, I know, Mac, you've got a real big anti on social.
I still like it.
But it's exactly what I wanted to see, and I was so chuffed that it all came
I still
together.
like it. Like, the first thing I do on my PS3, as soon as I connect online, I always go straight to Friends tab. I always see who's online, what they're playing.
I was just about to say this, actually.
Always do that.
It's interesting how you think that's fine, but Facebook with Facebook with the same people, not fine.
Not into Facebook.
You only want to see very specific things about your friends, like
Pretty much.
how are they doing trophy-wise.
Exactly.
It's
there you go.
It's going to be integrated, even though YouTube and Twitter were not mentioned. They'll say that like your friends list on the PlayStation will be like integrated with your Facebook friends list. The possibilities of the PlayStation 4 sound great. Obviously, the share button. Although I wonder how many people are going to actually make use of it.
I think I imagine that
Michael will only use it if there's trophies type, but otherwise this doesn't neglect.
It'll be hilarious. I mean, I can think of so like we talked about.
Yeah, it'll be bloody hilarious. You'll be sending us emails all the time, going, "Oh, and check out what happened at 7:45 p.m. last night. Here's me going up the stairs. Oh, and then guys, you'll never get. Look, you got to watch these next 2 videos I'm going to send you. And this is my point. There's enough of those Let's Play video game videos on YouTube as it is. YouTube is going to get flooded with boring game clips from everybody with a PS4.
That's a really good point. You're right.
It's like, oh, YouTube, broadcast yourself. Except not everybody should be broadcasted.
But exactly. But we know we're a bit more sensible than most people. We're not. We're going to only.
Oh yeah, we only output this amazing podcast every 2 weeks. High quality.
I'm still listening 3 years later, so it clearly is.
But that's not a problem with the PS4. That's a general internet problem. No quality control. Everybody's got a voice, but not everybody. Sure. Anyway, Mac, what were you going to say?
I had a weird sensation today playing the PS3. Like, I watched all that footage, sat through a few more hours of work, and then as soon as I got home, fired up Ni no Kuni, and I was just like,
trophies are still sinking. God,
I was like, this feels so last gen now.
It's so funny.
I'm actually struggling to keep playing PS3 games.
This is what I thought.
Spoiled.
Yeah, this is what I said when after last E3, and we'd seen Watch Dogs, then we saw Last of Us. Before E3, you're like, Last of Us, the best looking game ever. As soon as you see something slightly better, you're like, you
guys are fair weather fanboys. Like,
clearly.
There's no commitment here. Oh, Infamous 3, see you later, Cole. You'll step in his face.
I thought we were going to say, because what I did, I turned it on. I guess kind of the same thing, that it suddenly felt a bit old. Yeah. It felt like suddenly that moment where you kind of notice your dad, he's an old man now. He's weaker. He's not this young buck he used to be when you were a kid. And you realise he's going out to pasture soon, and it's time to start saying goodbye.
What are you on about?
I don't really know. I'm hungover.
It feels like that day when I went to my mate's house and when I was still playing PS2 at the time, and I saw Oblivion for the first time on 360. It felt like that. I was just like, I don't want to go home to my PS2 now.
The biggest
Can I just have this?
The biggest jump I've noticed recently has been going from CRT to a lovely 1080p.
Yes.
Yeah, did you notice that as well? They mentioned it today. Neither of you mentioned it so far.
Hold on.
Jesus Christ.
Hold it for a second. I remember the day I got my HD TV. It was in sale, so I could finally afford it. And Mike Powers over here is going, are you only just getting an HD TV? Alright then, fair enough. Oh, I would give you a lift home in my diamond car, but I've got too much shopping on all of the seats. See you later, pauper.
That was like...
You're a dick. And then you went... And then, that was Modern Warfare 2 day as well. And he's like, no, don't play Modern Warfare 2. No. You should play Flower. Go home, fire up Flower.
Oh yeah,
so then we could all sit there crying.
I was saying, but that point still stands though. Flower's a much better looking game than Modern Warfare 2.
That's not hard to do, though.
I think they're both actually really good looking.
Yeah, true. But I mean, in terms of...
Call of Duty shit! Microsoft is shit! You guys are twats!
Whoa! I mean, try and argue that Modern Warfare 2 is a more colourful game than...
He's loving it. Now it's more colourful.
Well, you got your new TV. I thought you've been seeing a little grey, mushy CRT land. I thought the first thing you want to see would be, bam, flowers.
The great thing with HD TV is
black and white TV.
The great thing with HD TV is so you can see the different shades of black and darker colours. Yeah, far up Modern Warfare, see all the shades of brown that there are on that colour palette.
Infinity Ward for bad developers. Call of Duty have all been bad.
More like Infinity Board.
Oh, for God's sake. You can't say board for everything.
You can.
The PS board. What were you going to say, Mac? Some rubbish.
Did you hear about the 4K resolution thingamajig?
No,
they've kind of were silent on it, weren't they?
No, they mentioned something today. Shuhei sadly said that games will not be supporting the 4K resolution on PS3, but on PS4. Sorry.
What resolution are we on now?
1080. It'll be 1080p by default, I think, on PS4 games. But
what's 4K then?
It's 4 times that, basically.
Well, no, it's not. It's 4,000.
It's 4,000.
Oh right, 4K.
So, yeah,
4,096 or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
But it'll support videos in 4K res.
Oh, cool.
But not games in 4K res.
That's not going to matter until I think we'll be feeling that strain, quote unquote,
Yeah.
strain towards the end of the life cycle of
But
that
I think
generation.
that has something more to do with the Blu-ray discs, because
Yeah, they're not big enough. They
an
can't
average length
possibly hold it.
film on 4K res is just under a terabyte of hard drive.
Wow.
And
That's
obviously
insane.
Blu-ray discs are 55
Something
gigs
like
at the
that,
moment,
yeah,
I think.
That won't be the standard for like 4 or 5 years.
I like-
at the least, so
Yeah,
I don't think it's going
as
to
a
be too much
minimum.
of a worry. Just finishing the games, Watch Dogs, Diablo 3, The Witness, and Destiny. So, like I said, a great spread of games for you, a great spread of gamers.
Yeah, if that was the launch lineup in the first 6 months, I think you'd be pretty set. But I think we're pretty confident E3 is going to have some bangers.
I want that to be day one, please.
All of that. I don't think. Well, Destiny's not. They've already announced across all platforms out this year.
I'll try Destiny.
one.
I'm not sold on it, but Watch Dogs definitely.
Mike was freaking out about seeing the number 4 for a good
Yeah.
while. Like loads of other stuff, Mac, had been announced, and then so after all this other information was announced, Mike goes, "See that number 4 up there?"
God.
Ho, 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 ho.
Do you know? You
four
can't
was
tell me
good.
you didn't get a little buzz. Even today, I still get a little.
Four
No,
was
I'm glad
good. I didn't like the fact they kept the lazy PS sign as well. I was like, oh, you're not going to mix up a little bit like you did from 1 to 2 to 3.
fair.
Well, when they did the PlayStation, I mean the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll change it again.
But yeah, PlayStation 4 is what it always needed to be
What
called.
was destined to be?
PlayStation Death, as
I
we
thought-
call it. It's now. It also said holiday 2013. Still unclear as to whether we're getting it in this country this year. We need to, please.
I don't
Sony.
think we will.
If you're listening, before Christmas would be great. Also, no price announced, but that's fine.
Yeah.
People are going mental over no actual console and no actual price, but I think seeing the controller was
Nice.
was kind of what you wanted to see. I mean, you don't need to see the final shape at this point. It's fine.
Shuhei did mention they're going to be a lot more competitive with the price though, because he said now that they're not
Yes,
using their own
he
cell
did.
architecture. It's because they managed to cut down on R&D costs, so they didn't have to test out their own hardware and shit like that, because they already know they're going with a reputable
Oh,
company, AMD and stuff. So
That's another thing that's
Cut a
making
lot of money.
PC gamers going, Sony have seen the light and have basically said, yeah, okay, guys, it's a PC. What, is there anything worse than a pretentious PC gamer?
there you go.
Could be two PlayStation fanboys. I'll have the definitive answer for you at the end of this podcast.
I've got nothing against PC
Anyone
games
got an idea what I was
anyway, or PC gamers. The good thing I like about consoles is that you're guaranteed X number of years worth of content, as long as the console
Yeah.
don't fail. Whereas PC is like, upgrade it, and then maybe 2 years later you might need to upgrade it, or like my PC, it just decides it doesn't want to turn on one day, and like, why the fuck not? You're working fine 2 hours ago.
My 2 terabyte hard drive just failed the other day.
bullshit.
Just failed.
There you go.
And there goes my Streets of Rage remake save file.
There you go.
Poof. We're
They've all
not
got
we're
their
not having the
flaws.
PC console argument
No,
because
the-
I have Captain Neutrality over here. I like
Neutrality?
Neutrality, you weren't going into a second ago.
No, because you know how I genuinely feel. I've got a PC
Yeah,
up to my television along with all the other consoles because I like bits of everything. I will be sitting on that fence, guys, for the rest of my life.
It's got to be uncomfortable up there,
It is
doesn't it?
just prong up
Yeah,
the arse.
Trying to balance all your iOS
But if I'm
hardware in one hand and
But if I'm not on either,
360 love it in the other hand.
if I'm not on any side of the fence, the grass looks green on all sides.
But you don't have any grass though. You're
There's
sitting
no
on the
grass.
fence, you have no grass.
Just awkward, very uncomfortable.
Don't
Yeah.
jump into my analogy and then kind of ruin it.
What I was going to say was that actually I think they have got more room to price this competitively because they've now
Yeah.
got so much online service, and they will charge for it. Like how Microsoft makes so much money off Live, they're going to be able to make more money off of the online service now. So they can hopefully build that into making a cheaper price console because people are going to be outraged if the console's expensive and then they're paying for basically the unique feature. Geico's going to be a charge for subscription,
Geico will be,
and
yeah.
but it's kind of crazy because that's kind of the unique feature. So you're kind of charging people twice. But then if the console comes in competitive, say $299, $350, but you can then charge 20 quid for the PlayStation Plus and
You can pre-order already on Shop 2.
Yeah,
The thing that's
ridiculous.
surprising is controllers are only 45. I was fully expecting
but
to be
this is all just
60,
they're just
65.
guessing this shit.
45 is still a bargain. You think of how much hardware is in that controller.
Yeah.
It's like,
That could change. I mean, all
I'm
of that.
tempted to snap one up now.
So it's looking like it will set us back just under £350, and but it's looking like it won't be out here because every other Sony console arrived here a few months after the US and Japan.
I was trying to push my money into the screen, but it wouldn't take it. So guess I'll have to wait for now.
Because that doesn't work, Mac. You know,
I know,
with
but
the money
now
being
it's
physical.
Geico,
And,
and it's going to be subscription. It's like, but it won't
Yeah,
even
exactly,
take my money.
it's
It's
true.
streaming for
well,
me.
that's what people have said. Is maybe the Geico's life might even come up before PS4 even launches. The actual box might be able to start doing some streaming stuff
Who
pre the
knows,
launch.
yeah.
That'd be
Deep Down.
cool.
That was another game.
Oh man, Deep
Oh, a Capcom
You must
thing
like the
thing.
look of that.
It looked
Even-
alright. I wasn't wholly convinced.
You know, the
'cause
Dark Souls
looks
vibes,
like Dark Souls, everybody.
it looks like Dark Souls, but I wasn't really on board that it's real time. It still looks like a CGI cutscene.
The Witcher 3. You've got to start
the new one
believing,
today.
Mac. That's in-game graphics from now on.
I hope so.
To bright, bold new...
That was the most
I hope
dubious,
so.
because they had the tiniest bit of HUD on there that was almost like token, like, let's put some HUD on there and people will believe it's real gameplay. Works on me, but it did look way too good.
Yeah.
But I loved in that one, actually, what the characters in that weren't... Dark Souls, obviously, you always play like a super badass wizard or a knight. In that one, they were all kind of like scraggly, ugly explorers. They weren't...
Yeah,
They didn't, and they were
just
kind
ordinary
of...
people. Weren't
Which, to me, is cool. I'd like
Where
that.
was Last Guardian? There was supposed to be an announcement.
E3.
Where was it?
E3. That was
God.
Chris's one prediction.
Even their announcements are delayed.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, it'll be ready when it's ready. They're still saying it's coming, so...
I'm actually excited to see what Microsoft do now, because the ball's entirely in their court now, and it's like, can they top it?
It is very exciting.
And I love competition, because
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
makes makes it more interesting and means so you actually get a better product. That's why I don't want one console ever.
I agree.
Where it's like
I agree
they just
completely.
unify, like, let's just do a super console. It's
I
like, no
agree.
thanks.
I think one day we won't have to worry about different console SKUs or anything. We'll have one unified delivery system, but there'll be different experiences made by developers or whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever that futuristic word will be replaced with in the future, and everything will be like microchips that get injected into your head, and that's how you play it.
Maybe.
Or it's this. It's the cloud service that, I mean,
Yeah.
they are
Right, guys, the start
sorting
of it.
themselves out. Is that if this platform gets up and running and it works, then essentially in the end they won't need a box and they can run
It'll just be the
software.
controller that you buy, and everything will be in the cloud.
Yeah.
This is why I prefer Sony and PlayStation brand over the other ones, because they're always trying to push the industry forward. Like, you didn't see Nintendo announcing any online cloud-based gaming shit,
Matt.
did you?
Nintendo have never pushed the industry forward.
Never.
No, they definitely haven't.
They haven't,
And
no.
the Xbox didn't.
When's the last time Nintendo pushed the industry forward?
No,
Like,
you're right, Mac. It's something they never do.
It's been a while.
And Microsoft, God, they've never shifted any of those Xboxes that nobody plays.
No, exactly.
You guys are right, and I'm convinced.
I haven't said anything. Max making some bloody awful points right now.
You guys,
Not awful.
you guys are as bad as each other, but in different ways.
I've said fuck all.
Yeah, but you did call up Sonny and tell him to fuck off last night.
But that's because he was being a dick.
No. Those texts are so neutral.
tell you.
You were just a little bit hyper because you had a bit too much orange juice.
Yeah,
A bit too much.
Those,
Wish I had more
those texts
orange
were
juice.
neutral, though.
Huh?
Those texts
They're
were
not
neutral.
of course not.
They're
Little
not-
Nintendo fan trying to take a drive
they're
at
not
a
anti-Sony.
clearly better console.
No, but
They're not
since
anti-Sony,
I
but
don't-
I'm anti-Sunny.
Since I don't see that though, you guys.
You don't see that PS4 is better than
No,
Wii U?
I don't see him.
I think you're being naive there. Go on.
That's not what I said.
He does. He's already. He's
Come
I'm not
on.
going to continue. There's
You
no
can
point.
do it. Come on. Where's a better console? What's got a brighter future?
Just going to mute Max track.
easy.
Oh,
And he's muted. No, you're not really.
that's censorship at
You're
the
not-
highest level, right?
It
there,
is.
see?
Should we do Max
Buy a
question?
PlayStation 4. You can hear me all day.
You fanboys censor your own lives.
I'm doing nothing over here.
Think about that.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike,
God,
stop.
quiet down.
You know, do you think the Yorkshire Ripper goes, I'm not really that bad a guy?
Yeah, I think
he just
does.
admits what
I
he is.
bet he does. I've met him the other day actually. Not in Yorkshire, ironically enough. It was in Wensleydale.
Didn't meet the Ripper.
I did.
I met him too. It was the guy who added a price tag to Xbox Live. He's pretty much raping you there.
Everyone in this room was very excited. There are naysayers out there. You just probably shouldn't listen to them. They're just being a bit negative with nothing to really stand on. The PlayStation 4 is exciting, and I am excited.
Yeah, and I think I've said it before, but I'm very excited for E3. Almost round 2. I want to see of the final blow. This was the setup, the bob and weave before the knockout punch. Is that? I think that's sports.
I just
don't
want the
know.
release date. I wish they'd just
Yeah?
pull a Sega and be like, here's a console, it's out in a couple of weeks. We're like, oh my god.
Yeah, that works well every time.
It's probably going to be
Incredible.
this time next year for us, which is really annoyingly
Isn't that a scary thought?
very
Yeah.
badly. Well, it is a scary thought because I'd like it in December.
Yeah.
So Santa could make me one.
Those months make that big difference. Like
Sorry, Santa's elves.
Santa's elves, of course.
Yeah, and we're going to finish off with Mac's brand new feature, Mac's the Question, in which
God.
Mac gets asked the question by Mike in a very quick manner. It's kind of like that no blinking test from The Master. If you haven't seen it, it's a Scientologist method of evaluation where you can't blink.
It's not a
So, Mac-
Scientologist. It's the.
No, it's the Scientologies.
Oh, okay, sure.
So basically, Mac, you have to now answer these questions, but you're not allowed to blink.
You've only got 20
I
seconds.
know how to blink
Yeah.
on radio.
We'll just see how long you go without blinking.
Yeah. So you gotta look.
Let me
at
get
Chris.
them all out of my system then.
Okay, yeah. Look, Chris, you've got 20 seconds. No blinking.
So yeah, this is a very high intense question and answer session directed at Mac, and
Yeah.
it's going to be all based on the PlayStation 4 reveal. Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, I'll say next when it's time to move on to the next
Okay.
question.
Right.
And your time starts now.
How much will the PS4 cost?
£399 and 99 pence.
99 pence. You sure of that? What makes you so sure?
Because it just looks like a good price tag, but it's psychologically. Well, I'm gonna blink anyway. I'm ignoring that.
That 1p under 400.
Next.
Yeah.
Will we ever be able to stream PS4 games to an iPhone?
Not current iPhones, no, because Apple are too many years behind us.
Okay, sure. Us.
And there it is.
Yeah, us, of course.
Oh, us. I mean them. I mean Sony.
We can do that with football. Why can't we do it with consoles?
But if it's streaming, it's not the power of the device that takes it. It's the power of the infrastructure that provides the content. Will the PS4 outsell the PS3?
I hope so. Yeah, it should do. It's got a head start. It's got a head start on the Xbox.
A bookkeeper today predicted that Sony would out.
That's because
they're being more aggressive with their marketing and everything. They kind of go back to the PS2 era where they were a lot more aggressive.
Next! Will Square Enix announce Final Fantasy 15 at E3?
Yeah, I think they will. They'll probably announce 15 Part 2, 15 Part 3, and then 13 Part 2 versus will eventually come out.
Will you not be upset when he came on stage and then,
I couldn't give a shit anymore, really.
Yeah, it's still not the Final Fantasy 7 HD remake that would save the company. Next!
Will MGS5 be a PS4 exclusive?
Yes, it will. Hideo Kojima loves PlayStation, and for good reason. So, yeah, it will be an exclusive.
But an MGS5, you reckon, is going to be the Phantom Pain?
Possibly, yeah.
We'll see at E3? We'll see at E3?
Maybe a little bit, but probably just a trailer and no other details.
Okay, cool. Will Infamous Second Son sell better than Infamous 2?
No, don't think so.
Infamous 2 sold like 1 million.
Yeah. And that's on an install base of about 60 million back then. So
it'll be an early title, so maybe people...
It will be, but I think it's just going to be like Infamous 1, where it's just like a new playground, new engine, but it won't actually push the series that far ahead.
Interesting.
Next.
Are social networks an important aspect of gaming?
Technically, yeah, but they have to be done well. I don't like this bullshit Facebook stuff like, I ate a cream salad today. It's like, why the fuck do I care?
Gaming!
You can customize
I played
it, Mac.
Tetris today. I don't care what you played. Just show me your progress, I'll do.
Next.
Where the fuck was Kazurai or Jack Stratton last night?
Yeah, I know, I was saying the same thing. I was like, you don't have the big wigs, you don't have the AAA team? Where are they?
God, I'm sorry your favourite men weren't on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, your favourite women, though.
It's already weird not to see Kenta Kutaragi there anymore, so I wanted Kaz Hiro.
But they brought a few old school people in from the old development team.
Yoshida and stuff, yeah.
So that was pretty
Next.
cool. That's it. Done. Good work,
There we
mate.
go.
And that is Max the Question, and that is episode 44 of the Ready Game Fire podcast. We hope you enjoyed the PlayStation 4 reveal last night as much as we did, which is quite a lot. I'd say.
A lot. Really good time. Really fun.
PS4.
Yeah.
What?
PlayStation 4.
PlayStation Death. Please contact us. You can do that by emailing us at contact@readygamefire.co.uk, on Twitter, on Facebook. We need your likes. We need your followers.
Give us your followers.
We need your follows. If you want to listen to us, you can do that at our website, on YouTube, through iTunes. Please like, comment, rate, review, subscribe, and on Spreaker, Stitcher, and on the Universal Takeover Network. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Chris Fox. Goodbye. It's goodbye from Mike.
Do you guys want some cake? I've got a lot. I'm going to demolish the whole thing.
Of course you are. And it's goodbye from Mac.
See you later.
Bye.
Ready, play, fire!